2019 25th Anniversary National Legends Cars Championship is sponsored by 24 Hour Solutions. No problems, only solutions. Hello and a very warm welcome to Programme 3 of the 2019 24 Hour Solutions National Legends Cars Championship. We're on the Isle of Anglesey, stunning views and some stunning racing ahead at one of the most spectacular racetracks in the UK. One event complete, that was Brands Hatch back in April. We've got 6 more events to go. As we left Brands Hatch, it was Connor Mills who topped the championship table. Second position, Cy Haraway, last year's rookie champion. Multi-titleist John Nicol in third ahead of Miles Rudman. Jack Parker in fifth from James Hall Morton, Marcus Pett and Sean Smith.
Well, here we are at Anglesey for round 3 of this exciting championship. Beautiful circuit, weather looks pretty good as well. Now, last time out we saw you had quite a big incident at Brands Hatch. What's happened from then to now, and tell us about the vehicle?
So the car was a bit of a mess, so we've took the decision to build a completely brand new car. In the time frame we had, we didn't think we would have time to get it stripped over to someone to rejig it and then back. So we've stripped the car down, taken the wiring harness and the bits we can save out of it, and then just built a brand new car up. Unfortunately, yesterday in testing, we were running the old engine, and it seems that the old engine had damage as well. So unfortunately, that didn't last too long before it let go on us as well. So we're still ironing out some of the little niggles from the accident and trying to check some of the electrical sides that we've swapped from one car to the other. But hopefully we'll be good and back together for the next race.
John, great to see the quick steel number 4 machine there, looking as pristine as ever. Qualifying done, how's it going?
Yeah, it's not too bad. We had quite a few issues at Brands Hatch and finished quite strong. I think 50 points off the lead, so it's not too bad. We have had bad weekends looking good like that, then this season's not going to be too bad. But there's a lot of fast people out there, and we just got to make sure the quick steel cars are at the sharp end.
Usually are. We normally see you on podiums, but consistency, you go for the big picture normally. You don't necessarily go for the win, you go for the points, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're out there to race and to win, and if we can get a win, then we'll go for it. But sometimes you just have to, if there's a half a gap and you know you might not make it, you just don't mind going for it. It's better to finish than not finish, and the bigger picture is the bigger picture, obviously, and the championship at the end of the season. But, you know, we're getting old and wise, so we sort of like read it better than some of the others. So we just need that little bit of luck, what everybody needs, and hopefully we can be somewhere near come Brands Hatch in November.
Mike, we didn't get a chance to catch up with you at Brands. A busy weekend, certainly. Ups and downs for you, but not a bad start to the season.
Well, yeah, not brilliant. I had a couple of 15ths and a 16th, so I was down the wrong end of the pack in the results, and I had a DNF. I put the car in the tyre wall. But we found something that was a little bit down on power, so hopefully we've sorted that. Anglesey will be a good track with the long back straight to use that power, and I went well here last year, so I'll put Brands Hatch behind me and just have a good weekend here. That's the plan.
Beautiful circuit here, great backdrop, quite challenging, some of things like the corkscrew and so forth. Quite a different driving than it is at Brands.
Yeah, it's a great circuit. You've got everything, perfect for a legend car. You've got nice, tight, twisty sections, then you've got the long back straight to do some really good drafting. So it suits the cars really well. But yeah, it can catch you out and bite you very easily. Yeah.
The draw was kind to Nick Bridgman in blue and Nathan Anthony in yellow in the van, and then Mike Schlupp third in the black number 3, the man we just heard from, Sean Smith in the 21 car, then Jack Parker and James Hall Morton. So many race winners at the front of the grid. In fact, all of the drivers capable of getting into the top 6, and many of them have won before. It's Nathan Anthony on pole. He'll maybe consolidate the lead round turn 1. He doesn't. Nick Bridgman holding him on the inside line now as they go into the banking for the first time. So Bridgman held out on the outside on turn 1. And he's got the lead. Look at him working the wheel, Nathan Anthony. Same too with Bridgman in the blue 68. And it's Bridgman that's got the lead. Anthony about to lose second. James Hall-Morton going through into second position. Race winner at Brands, maiden race winner, of course, James. And he's challenging Nick Bridgman. Big sideways moment there for Jonty Norman. First outing of the season for him, so he can be excused that, but he'll be back on the gas and trying to get back up with the field, but it's Bridgman still in front. Now Anthony is past. Anthony was momentarily back into second. Jack Parker second, and now going through is Scythe Haraway scything his way through as Jack Parker looks on the outside line of Nick Bridgman, who's defending well. A little bit of smoke there from Sean Smith in the 21 car as they head back towards the start-finish line. So this is through Peel. They'll now head down towards the corkscrew. Look at that view. They could be going straight into the sea, but it's Nick Bridgman still out front. Good battle between Haraway and Parker for second. James Hall-Morton is third. Then Connor Mills, the championship leader in blue and silver, followed by Miles Rudman, who is fourth in the standings. This, remember, a balloted grid, and they will reverse those positions, and it's Nick Bridgman who gets a career lap lead on his stats. Into pit lane comes Will Gibson. We weren't expecting to see Will here at one point due to the accident at Brands Hatch, and the lead is now with Scythe Haraway. So Haraway second in the championship. Sean Smith limps round into pit lane, having spotted that engine smoke. Let's hope it's not meeting terminal for him, because we've got 6 races to get through here on Anglesey, 3 of which constituting round 3 this programme, as Marcus Peck goes on the inside line of Nathan Anthony. The yellow 51 of Masters champion Paul Simmons looking to follow through as well. Phil Turner has a gyration, but he's back on the gas very quickly. Great recovery from him. It's all action absolutely everywhere here in race 7 of the year, with Scythe Haraway leading now from Jack Parker, Miles Rudman, Nick Bridgman 4th, Connor Mills 5th, Marcus Peck next up from Nathan Anthony, Paul Simmons on the inside line of James Hall-Morton, Paul Simkis in the black and fluorescent 99 is there as well. Wow, what a start we've had. This track could have been designed for Legends, but it uses the natural contours of the circuit. It's a wonderful place. Everybody loves it. They're talking about developing the circuit even more to attract higher profile championships, maybe touring cars or GTs. That's a problem for Bill Reid in the 67. Bill having a spin, but getting back on the gas, and he's passed by Mike Schlupp. So Mike's not had the start that he wanted, but manages to pull a place back. Does Mike, his 129th career start. There's John Mickle, the multi-champion, who is busy now and catching this front group, as you can see. He's with his teammate here, 51 Paul Simmons, and John will have a look through on the inside line as they head through School Corner. James Hall-Morton, the next car that he'll want to try and catch as they go up the hill into Rocket. Still Jack Parker. Well, not still Jack Parker. Jack has taken the lead. Scythe Haraway down to third. Miles Rudman in second. So it's Parker, the Midlander, who is out front. Miles Rudman next up from Scythe Haraway. Scythe won the opening race at Brands Hatch, and he's 40 points behind Connor Mills in the championship here. Here is 247 Phil Turner, busy chasing Jonty Norman. So a good battle between those two. And Jack Parker looking relatively comfortable at the moment out front from Miles Rudman. Across the line they go. And Nick Bridgman, a little mistake for him there, and leaves the door open for 2 cars to nick past on the inside line as Parker continues to lead, but he's coming under a bit of pressure now from Miles Rudman. Scythe Haraway possibly at this stage keeping a watching brief. There's if you can get away in lead position, that's what you need to do in Legends, but other than that, if you're fighting, it could be about making a move towards the closing stages to come through for the race win. It's Parker out front. You've got to say the winner is probably going to come from the top 5, and possibly Miles Rudman, who goes on the inside line as they go through Church up into School Corner now and climb up the hill. Rudman is away, and Jack Parker looks like he's got an issue. Parker down to third, maybe about to be fourth, courtesy of Connor Mills. Mills is challenging him. On board with Nathan Anthony, who I think maybe had a bump. We certainly heard a clatter, so Anthony loses what was going to be a good finish. Rob King in the 74, another former race winner, 13th in the championship, coming to Anglesey after our opening weekend, Easter weekend it was at Brands Hatch. What a weekend's racing we had there, wonderful weather, as James Hall-Morton chases John Mickle. I was nearly tempted to say Pete Morton then. It's Pete's old livery, as you probably remember from Brands Hatch in our last show, the retro livery on the 32 car, and that's the livery that Peter won the national championship. I think maybe won the world championship as well. Paul Simmons in 51 is in behind. Then Nick Bridgman with Rob King and Paul Simkis, and behind them, going into the drawn grid rather than starting at the back for the first time, is our newcomer Matt Rainbow, ex-Janetta driver we met at Brands Hatch. You have to start your first 2 meetings as a rookie at the back of the grid, so this is his first time going into the proper grid, as it were. So Bridgman from King, the field getting slightly spaced out, all finding their spaces in this race at the moment. And Bridgman from the front row of the grid, as we said, gaining more and more confidence. Never raced anything before coming into Legends. He's only done 67 career races, so he's one of the least experienced drivers in this field. And Connor Mills now goes through, so Mills up ahead of Miles Rudman. Connor Mills, the championship leader, picking up where he left off at Brands Hatch and has got the lead. Connor Mills, he had a retirement at Brands Hatch as well, so to come away from Brands with the championship lead after having a DNF was a very remarkable set of scores for Connor Mills. But this one is not over by any stretch of the imagination as Miles Rudman uses the draft, comes out of the slipstream. Cy Haraway's going to muck Connor Mills the other side, so the boys in black come through first and second. Rudman from Haraway, Connor Mills is next up. Marcus Pett running well too in 4th position. All of these drivers have race-winning history, and they all know how to race with each other as King goes through on the inside line of Bridgman. There is Matt Rainbow in the number 6 looking on the inside line. The Dynarod car goes through, makes the move. Of course, being a rookie and starting at the back of the grid for your first 2 meetings, if you've got racecraft, as Matt does, you can use that to learn how the legends work out. And Matt had a 10th place in race 3 from the back of the grid at Brands Hatch in race 3. So had a very, very good race indeed as Miles Rudman continues to lead here. Now look at this, round the outside line goes Marcus Pett, side by side with championship leader Connor Mills through the banking. It's Miles Rudman still out front. Rudman leading. Cy Haraway in 2nd position. Marcus Pett is in 3rd. Now they go through Church and up the hill once again. Four-way battle for the lead. Miles Rudman out front at the moment. Cy Haraway looks to the inside line. Marcus Pett all over him. And now look at Connor Mills looking on the inside line as they go through School Corner. But he's got the outside for the entry into Rocket. Can't make that stick, but if he can hold on to the outside line, it will convert to the inside for the out now. And in fact, doesn't go through into 3rd, goes through into 2nd past Miles Rudman as well. Great move by Connor Mills, but it's still Cy Haraway out front. Miles Rudman in 3rd. Marcus Pett in the 79 is next up. Here's Matt Rainbow. Matt in 9th place, up ahead at the moment of Rob King. Rob King trying to get past. Matt Rainbow here will go 1 position better than his best result at Brands Hatch. Mike Schlupp has recovered well. Mike in 13th. And that's Bill Reed immediately behind in 67, heading for 14th place. That'll be Bill's best result of the season too if he holds on to that in the 67 car, one of the Bridgman Motorsport machines. And we go back to the lead quartet. I tell you what, 5th and 6th not that far behind as well, but it's Cy Haraway still out front. And has he got all the answers for Connor Mills, who's still there in 2nd and now looking for the inside line? Miles Rudman is going to maybe bump draft with him and try and go through on the inside line here through Church up into School Corner. They're not bump drafting anymore, and Connor Mills has got the lead. Mills through into 1st position, Haraway 2nd. Marcus Pett now going for the outside line. Can Marcus hold on to it? He's chivvying away, goes through into 3rd place, and Miles Rudman from 2nd is now down to 4th with all the work to do once again. And it's Connor Mills who leads this one. Took 3 wins at Brands Hatch, looking for career win number 4 of the season. Connor looking for the 19th career win as he comes down through the corkscrew. Cy Haraway 2nd, Marcus Pett 3rd, then Miles Rudman. Right behind them, the battling duo of James Hall-Morton and John Mickle, headed by John Mickle in the silver number 4, the multi-champion, still collecting very valuable points here, even with a 5th position in the offing as Marcus Pett looks down the inside line of Cy Haraway. Connor Mills going up slightly onto the banking there, still in the lead. So it's Mills from Haraway, Pett, then Miles Rudman next up. Miles only bagging one podium at Brands Hatch, but still fourth in the standings, very consistent, which is what you need to do. So here they come. Here's the battle I was telling you about, 5th and 6th. James Hall Morton, race winner at Brands Hatch, busy chasing. John Mickle still hasn't had a race win so far this year, but it's all about points, as he said in that conversation with Barry. If he can get a win, he goes. Cy Haraway's back in the lead, and Connor Mills was momentarily down to third, and Cy Haraway's gone through on the inside line. Marcus Pett's coming up and challenging for second, and indeed the lead. Miles Rudman in the mix as well. Haraway just got across there on the racing line. He saw that Pett was coming. They're 3 wide for second position here as they head into the corkscrew for the last time. Haraway for Rudman, then Marcus Pett. Connor Mills back in fourth, side by side. Rudman in second at the moment. Can he get across and consolidate it on the left hand of the final turn on the lap? It's Cy Haraway, I think, who is going to take the win. Connor Mills goes wide. It's Haraway that wins. Rudman second, Marcus Pett in third place, and they were followed by John Mickle and James Hall Morton. We're looking at Nathan Anthony. He is in 11th place here. Rob King is in 12th. Here they come, a good battle for them. Anthony, of course, starting up the front end of things, just holding off Rob King. But what a Legends race we had here. The 7th race of the year, first race of the weekend of this double header on Anglesey. Haraway from Rudman and Pett. Connor Mills 4th from John Mickle and James Hall Morton. Paul Simmons ahead of Paul Simkiss, then Matt Rainbow and Nick Bridgman 10th. 11th goes to Nathan Anthony. Rob King next from Mike Schlupp and Bill Reid. John T. Norman in 15th. Phil Turner is in 16th place. Couple of non-finishers. Fastest lap went to Connor Mills in the 82 car.
So a fantastic win there, and that's the second weekend you've done that in a row.
Yeah, we couldn't have hoped for any better. It was a hell of a race. Very, very close right to the end. It could have been one of 4 of us. It was just lucky I was the one who was there for the toe on the last lap. Got past Connor down into the at the end of the straight into the second gear left, and the rest is history. It was a really, really good race.
Without tempting fate, a great start to the season, really.
Yeah, well, we've got new equipment this year. Craig at Pro 24 has built me a new car. We've gone across to Mike Fancy engines, so the package together has been really, really good. Obviously very competitive, and I've just got to keep it going, keep scoring points, keep finishing races, and we'll see where we are at the end.
Miles, a lot of slick moves there on those first few laps, and then it was all about the top 4.
Yeah, it was just a case of getting to the front really, and trying to get your head down and work with the other guys and just see if we can break the draft, and then just see what happens at the end really. It was a really close race. It could have been between any 4 of us, I think. So
I wasn't sure whether you and Si were helping each other or not initially, but obviously you get to a point in the race where you think, well, I've just got to go for it now.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think we were both racing. We're both racing to win, and in some positions you do try and help each other, whether it's your teammate or not. So, but yeah, you just got to race to win if you want to win. So.
Marcus, a great start to the weekend there for the 79 machine. Some pretty close racing there throughout.
Yeah, definitely. That's the start to the weekend we wanted, considering where we started on the grid in P11. So we had some good progress on the early laps, and some tough battling at the front towards the end of the race, which made it really exciting.
Second half, it was all about the top 4, really, wasn't it?
It was. We seemed to break away and just work together, and then the elbows came out. Should we stay on the last couple of laps? And yeah, we managed to come away with third, so yeah, pleased with that.
Rob King starts on the front rank for this one. Will Gibson in the black and blue 57. The fluorescent and grey number 6 of Matt Rainbow. First time off the front of the grid for Matt. He was off the back in race 1. First time in the main group. We're Legends Racing again. This is race 2. And a good start by the entire field. It's Rob King that leads them. Will Gibson in second. And Marcus Pett is in third place. That really underlines how well Marcus Pett did in race number 1 to be with that lead quartet. He is really on form today. 3 wide, maybe 4 wide as they go around the banking for the first time. Gibson is going to think about having a look down the inside line of the race leader, Rob King. There's Paul Simmons on the outside line, but it's King that leads them. Gibson runs a little bit wide. Marcus Pett sees a gap, goes through. John Mickle working with him. Mickle is by my reckoning now joint third in the championship. We've got a tie for the lead on my maths between Connor Mills and Cy Harraway, and a tie for third between John Mickle and Miles Rudman, but that's all unofficial, that's just my maths. But Rob King second, defending from John Mickle there, who was looking around the outside line, and that's opened the door for Connor Mills to try and come through in the blue and grey car. Can't quite do it, didn't have the momentum, and John Mickle stays there in third place. Will Gibson now is challenged by Matt Rainbow, who looks up the inside line in the Dynarod number 6. Cy Harraway, 83, coming through as well. So a lot of the front runners from race 1 who started towards the front or mid of the pack already up at the front in this one and looking to add to their points tallies. Harraway on the inside line there of Rainbow. Through they go to complete the lap. On board with Nathan Anthony, and back end on the 51 machine. Oh, it clips the back end of Nathan Anthony's car around. Now, has that damaged Nathan's car? He still can't get it going where he wants it to go, but he'll get it in gear and rejoin. But you can see the field have already gone past, so Nathan Anthony in the van has got some work to do. I thought he got away with that, but just a clip on the back end. He might have to pit, maybe sort the problem. Let's have a look, see if we can pick any damage out. I can't see any from a quick glance at the car. Oh, but there's damage as James Hall Morton and Paul Simkis come together at the top of the hill. It's going to push them down the order. Nick Bridgman has a scary moment as well, but manages to go through. So it's Marcus Pett starting to break away a little bit, or he was, with when Rob King was second, but he's still in the lead. And John Mickle in second place in silver, followed by championship leader Connor Mills. Through the final bend, look at the lead that Pett has got. He really has got the car hooked up around here. He was quick in race number 1 with a good podium finish for Marcus Pett. Had 3 career wins. James Hall Morton into the pits for some diagnostics or possibly a retirement. It remains to be seen as Jack Parker chases Matt Rainbow. Matt working hard, did indeed get his best career result thus far in his 7th race with that 9th in race number 1. John Mickle still in second, Connor Mills is third now, Miles Rudman fourth from Rob King, Will Gibson there and thereabouts as well. Nathan Anthony recovering, engaging in battle with the 24-hour solutions car of Phil Turner. Anthony goes through in the first full Vans machine, and it's Marcus Pett still the race leader. John Mickle is in second. Rob King getting very close there to Miles Rudman, so things relatively settled at the moment. Now it looks to me like Will Gibson is getting to grips with the 57 car rather, in this one, and about to pop a challenge on the inside line here to take the place from Rob King. Now Cy Harraway's going to look up the inside line as well. Harraway, the 83, I reckon joint championship leader, makes up another position here and goes into the banking. He'll be keen to get onto the lead group, who are a little way away, but if he can get his head down, he might be able to close in if they squabble amongst themselves. I'll tell you what, Marcus Pett though is away and down the road and trying to build a lead, and that is great Legends tactics for Marcus Pett to try and get away. Still John Mickle next up from Connor Mills in the 82. Jack Parker on the inside line there, about to make a move, which he does on the inside of Cy Harraway. So Parker passes Harraway, then it's Gibson and King still very much at it, immediately behind them, side by side, with Matt Rainbow wanting to get involved as well. And Matt beginning to close in, might fancy his chances somewhere in the corkscrew to make the move down on the inside line. Gibson runs a little bit wide, and that affords the opportunity for the 6 car to go through. Gibson will regroup and try and repass him later on in the lap. 6 car now looking at the inside line of 74. Rob King. Rob had a best of 5th position at Brands Hatch, getting himself back in hopefully for a full campaign this year, and at the moment just the better of Matt Rainbow with Gibson again. You can see Will Gibson really starting to get back on it in the 57 car, closing down on the number 6 machine of Matt Rainbow. Down behind them it's Sean Smith in 21 after his problems in race number 1. Good to see Sean going well in this one, as to is Marcus Pett still out front. And it's the Trinity for 3rd place now. And Connor Mills, I was going to say, it's not, it's a duo for 2nd, because Connor Mills looks like he's got a problem. Mills is on for a 2nd DNF of the season. Connor Mills is going to be bitterly disappointed. He really did not need 2 DNFs in the first 2 meetings, but he's made of stern stuff. He will come and fight back for the remainder of the meeting because he won't be too far away from the championship lead still. But out front, it's still Marcus Pett. Miles Rudman in the 7 car is running there currently in 3rd place. John Mickle 2nd in the 4. Jack Parker having a much better run here in the 13 is in the mix as well, with Cy Harraway not too far behind as well. Then it is Matt Rainbow. So Matt Rainbow heading for an improvement again on his first race in the mix, as it were, as they head up towards Rocket. Let's see what Parker will do about Miles Rudman. Miles getting defensive, goes to the inside line, and he's making Parker do all the work. Parker grabs the inside for the first part of Rocket. The outside line maybe beckons, but he can't do anything about it. So John Mickle looking good in 2nd place. Parker has another look. Here is Paul Simmons and Paul Simkis involved in a good battle. Simmons' car with that little bit of damage. We were looking at the back end of Nathan Anthony's car after that wild moment earlier on in the race for 51 where the back end went around, and that was the damage on the front end. He'll replace the bumper on the front. There's Bill Reid having another good race in the 67 car, but back up to Miles Rudman in 3rd place. This is the battle for the final podium position here. John Mickle not that far ahead of them, and in 2nd place at the moment, John Mickle. This will be John's best result of the year, and we're in the 3rd event, or the 3rd round of the season. If he can hold on to 2nd place, but championship wise, John Mickle here, by my reckoning, will go into 2nd place in the championship. There's Connor Mills' stricken car on the inside of the racing school circuit. Look at this superb battle for 3rd place. Rudman holds on to it at the moment. Jack Parker holding on from Cy Harraway, who's going to now grab the inside line. Harraway is through. Jack Parker sees him, goes a little bit wider. Matt Rainbow still trying to close in on this group as well. Marcus Pett, the other end of the straight, still the race leader. Will Gibson running well. Sean Smith is in the mix and challenging Rob King in the 74 car. We've still got race 3 where we tot up the points from the 2 races we've seen, and the top point scorers start at the back of the grid. It is all entertainment all the way in 24-Hour Solutions Legends Cars Racing. King all over the back of Gibson. Sean Smith looking to try and make up a position in the 21 car. Smith, another driver, looking for his first race win of the season. Here they come. So Mickle still in 2nd place, Marcus Pett out front. Jack Parker's got the fastest lap of the race this time. It was Connor Mills in race 1. Parker in this one as Sean Smith starts to put the pressure on King, coming through into Church Corner now. There's no gap there. So these 3 battling hard at the moment. Sean Smith was 8th in the championship coming here this weekend. So good consistent scoring, but what about this man? He was so quick coming through to the back of the grid in race 1. Still up front is Marcus Pett. John Mickle, the multi-champion, 2nd. Jack Parker having a super dice there with Matt Rainbow, who's got ahead. So Rainbow continues to impress us in the early stages of his 2nd meeting, and up for a 5th position. This is good stuff from Rainbow as King comes under pressure from Sean Smith. Will Gibson's going to have a look on the inside line as well as they come out of Peel Corner. Meanwhile, it's Marcus Pett who's worked hard, battled to get clear of John Mickle. Comes across the line now onto the last lap. John Mickle in 2nd is coming under a little bit of pressure from Miles Rudman. Cy Harraway still there in 4th. Harraway will just take out a slight championship lead after this race if things stay the way they are. Doesn't look like he's going to be threatened from 4th place. There's a great battle going on for 5th with Jack Parker trying to get back on terms with Matt Rainbow. Through Church they go. Marcus Pett is the race leader, looking for career win number 4 here at Pembrey. I know Marcus was a little bit aggrieved to have had an out of position start at Brands Hatch, but he's been so consistent right the way through the 6 races we've had so far. Best result at Brands, 5th place, but absolutely no questioning his pace here on Anglesey. Pett the leader, big battle for 2nd now. Miles Rudman closing in on John Mickle. Then it's Cy Harraway, the last two rookie champions chasing the multi-champion, the former world champion John Mickle. Mickle's won in whatever formula he's raced in on the circuits and indeed on the small ovals as well. But it's Marcus Pett. Oh, Rob King, heartbreak for the 74 car. He's out of the race. and some good points, but checkered flag, win for Marcus Pett, second place is John Mickle, third Miles Rudman. They complete the podium. Best Back Rainbow taking another best result in fifth position. Another superb Legends race. Problems for Paul Simkis, who rejoins just behind Nick Bridgman. Nick coming through in 10th place. Paul will finish in 10th, just ahead of Nathan Anthony, but it was Marcus Pett. And after that race one result, we could have probably expected him to do that. Win for Pett, John Mickle second, Miles Rudman third from Cy Haraway, and it was Rainbow, Parker, Gibson, Smith, Paul Simmons ninth, Nick Bridgman completing the top 10. 11th went to Paul Simkis from Nathan Anthony and Mike Schluck. Bill Reid next from John T. Norman and Phil Turner. James Hall Morton classified 17th. Fastest lap of the race with Jack Parker.
Marcus, I thought we were doing well with the podium on race one there, but we've gone for the win.
Yeah, no, well, was more than happy with how the first race went, and to be honest, we knew we was in good contention with where we were starting in that race, and yeah, I managed to make a good start and get into the lead on the first lap and sort of control it from there really. So really happy.
Maintaining that lead is then tricky because people maybe bump drafting behind you. There was certainly a lot of stuff in your mirrors, but consistently you were just keeping that gap lap after lap really.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I thought it was a matter of when not if they would catch me. I thought they're going to at some point working together, but we seem to have good pace in the car, and whether they was battling a little bit behind sort of helped me out. But yeah, we kept looking in my mirrors and that gap seemed fairly constant, so yeah, more than happy with that.
John, good strong race there, good strong podium finish, and get you pretty busy.
Yeah, it's very busy around this place. It's a great leveller. Everybody's fairly even, and it's just getting the luck of the brakes and getting through the traffic when you can, and getting up the front end. But once you get there, it's a hard slog. It's that back straight, and if you can't get on the draft, then they can't pull you in. We had a couple of issues with mine, but they can be easily fixed, and hopefully we can find that extra 10 or 15 foot that we need.
Miles, we meet again, another podium, great for points. I thought you were going to have Mickle there for a while.
Yeah, I did myself, but I don't know what happened to Connor in that one, but I sort of lined him up on the straight and was going to try and draft him. But all of a sudden he sort of stopped, and I had to swerve last second, and it lost me quite a lot of ground. So it took me a few laps to catch back up with Mickle, but by the time I'd done that, it was too late really, so yeah.
Nathan, a busy weekend so far, 2 races out of the way. Now you're always in amongst the mix and the action there, but it hasn't always gone according to plan. It's been quite busy.
Yeah, this weekend has been, the first 2 races have been a bit tougher. First race we were off the front, and the third or fourth lap, going to the top of the hill into the hairpin, the contact with Paul Simmons, number 51. Not intentionally, but we did end up tangling together, and I ended up worse off. We got back on, we finished the race, but in 11th place. Not where we need to be to gain some decent points. Second race going forward, we were off the back due to the grid positioning, but we made some good places in the first couple of laps. I was quite pleased with that. The van felt good, the van felt quite confident, better than the first race. The tyres seemed to work slightly better. I was pushing through, and I've got behind a gaggle of cars, and number 51 was involved in that gaggle of cars. Unfortunately, he lost his positioning and went wide going into the first corner, and then come back across the track just as I went to overtake, and he clipped the wheel, which spun me around and damaged the rear axle.
So Connor, we come into this round and you were leading the championship, and we've seen you on the podiums all the time, and then suddenly in this race too, bit of a disaster. What happened?
Yeah, the race was going quite well up until lap 5, and I just lost all power down the straight. We've just taken the engine off, realised it's the camshaft has snapped or broken, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, so a bit of bad luck, but there we go.
Luckily early in the season, and you keep consistently getting these points so far, but a bit of a confidence knock to start off with though.
Yeah, I mean we're quick. We was quickest in race 1, so I'm not worried about the car or our actual pace. It's just unfortunate that that's happened, and we was in third. We was looking strong for another podium, which is what it's all about. And considering we was leading the championship coming into today, we just really was looking to finish on the top 3 every race, which that has obviously not gone to plan. But we need to just pick ourselves back up and carry on really.
So the drivers who haven't had the rub of the green so far start on the front of the grid. Sean Smith and Rob King, then Mike Schlupp and Will Gibson on row 2. Connor Mills on the 3rd row with Jack Parker. We've got some big hitters on the front of the grid. This is going to be another thrilling race on board with Nathan Anthony on the inside line. He's up and challenging Connor Mills. Nathan hoping for better luck here. It's the great thing about Legends. If you don't get the fortune in the first couple of races, you get a chance to start off the front in the final, and that's what's happened here with Sean Smith. So it's Sean Smith, the man that leads them, with Rob King in 2nd position. Connor Mills with his replacement engine looks on the inside line of Mike Schlupp. We've already got a battle on for the lead though. Sean Smith coming under pressure from Rob King, who gets his nose in front and will get across, I think, as they head up towards Rocket. We've got Will Gibson challenging for 3rd, and around the outside line of Sean Smith. Is Gibson going to be able to hang on to that? No, he can't quite do it, but he's still in 3rd. Jack Parker 4th, Nathan Anthony in 5th place from Mike Schlupp. And of the higher point scoring drivers, it's Miles Rudman who leads them through, and already side by side with James Hall Morton. Looks down the inside line. Connor Mills immediately now behind him. So they come down the hill with Rob King still in front from Sean Smith. Will Gibson in 3rd place, then Jack Parker. Nathan Anthony looking pretty good in that 29 machine. Nathan, a veteran of some 352 career starts in Legends cars. Across the line they go. Doesn't matter what formula you're in here at Anglesey. We've got a big supporting bill this weekend. They're all standing on the pit wall and as near as they can to the circuit to watch these cars. And a little lock up there for Mike Schlupp allows Miles Rudman on the outside line to go through. Nick Bridgman in the mix still in the 68 car, scored well in the 2 heats. John Mickles up with him. Marcus Pett is right behind him. Marcus Pett very much in line for the day's overall honours here on Anglesey, but it's far too early at the moment to get the abacus out to work out who's going to be the winner. Down into the corkscrew they come, 3-way battle for the lead position. It's Rob King holding on here, soaking up the pressure from Sean Smith, but Jack Parker's around the outside line. Nathan Anthony has a very good view of the battle for the lead. Anthony in 5th place, Will Gibson immediately in front of him. This gives you a great shot of the speed, the close nature of the racing in the Legends, and Rob King is doing a superb job out front at the moment. Anthony though has got Miles Rudman right with him as well, so he'll be looking in his mirrors, looking ahead at the same time. Rudman sees a gap, goes through into 5th position, well read by Miles Rudman. Let's see whether Nathan can have a go back. He's having a look in the wonderful van. James Hall Morton in 32 right behind as well. Then Connor Mills, who seems okay but perhaps not as racy as we might expect. John Mickle in the number 4, the silver machine, is next up as the battle for the lead continues. Still Rob King there at the moment. Jack Parker is hungry to take 2nd, which he does. So Parker in 2nd in the 13. Sean Smith is in P3. Miles Rudman now in 4th. Will Gibson side by side with James Hall Morton, and the pack are closing down on the leaders. That's exactly why we have the reverse grid. It's thrilling to watch. Parker on the inside line now takes the lead. Jack Parker the race leader. Now watch Sean Smith. He's going to be all over the back of Rob King challenging for 2nd. Miles Rudman is in the mix as well. So Rudman trying to come through. Well, if I was a betting man on the form we've seen so far, Miles Rudman might be the man to take this one. He's in 4th place at the moment ahead of Will Gibson, and the car running strongly, but he's back in P4. Jack Parker, of course, no slouch at all, as into pit lane comes Phil Turner in the 24-Hour Solutions car, sadly. So decent 2 finishes in the first 2 races for him, but it looks like a DNF in this one as Jack Parker continues to lead. Jack Parker, if you look at podium statistics, this is his 329th career start. If he finishes on the podium, it'll be an 85th podium, and that's 22% in reverse grid racing. That's an incredible stat now, and is he about to lose the lead? Rob King goes through, and past as well goes Sean Smith. Miles Rudman challenging too. He's on the outside line. Will Gibson is in 5th, and Jack Parker finds himself down in 3rd. Sean Smith through into 2nd. Very neatly done there. Good passing opportunities at Rocket. They come out of Rocket now, heading down into Peel. So it's Rob King who's responded well. This is, again, we say it programme after programme. Legends you can get past, but you can get back on it and repass. So it is absolutely pure racing. They swap places, they have to read what each other are doing, understand each other of course, and they provide superb entertainment. And it's Rob King heading the field at the moment. Nathan Anthony in the first of Van's 29 Sevan, still in the mix as well, with James Hall Morton right behind him. We ride on board in van with Nathan Anthony again, looking at Will Gibson, who's got the line covered coming up into the banking here. Only slight banking on this corner, but most of the drivers love it. They love all of the corners here on this track. It's such a popular venue. We haven't missed a year since Anglesey's been open, to my knowledge. Marcus Pett is up with them again as well. Marcus Pett now is ahead of John Mickle. So Pett, on calculations here, could be edging towards maybe the day's overall victory. John Mickle in behind, of course. Never ever discount John Mickle in the number 4 car. Nathan Anthony has a challenge from James Hall Morton on the inside line, on the outside. That's Marcus Pett going for position. And I tell you what, Nathan Anthony read that superbly as far as Marcus Pett was concerned, but Gibson spins. Oh, such a shame for the 57 car. We've got another day's racing tomorrow here on Anglesey. He'll be hoping to get back on the podium in the 57 machine, but the close nature of the racing, he takes the charge. Well, good news is that Phil Turner's back out on track. Mike Schlupp and Jonty Norman all involved together dicing for position. Phil perhaps not looking the happiest at the moment, but Mike Schlupp and Jonty Norman really engaged in battle at the moment. It's the JLM3 car ahead of the 43, who's going to have a look down the inside line is Jonty, and off going, that's Bill Reid off the circuit. Sadly, Bill Reid's car off the circuit. He becomes our first retiree in this one, as Cy Haraway is now in the mix as well, coming through. So Haraway could be in the mix as well for top scorer on the day. The new championship leader, by my maths again, Haraway leads from Mickle and Miles Rudman. John Mickle second, Miles Rudman third. Here they come up towards Rocket again. This the battle between Sean Smith in the 21, Jack Parker in the 13 car. Parker goes wide, the battle for the lead between these two. You can see Rob King's dropped away and it's Sean Smith out front. Jack Parker couldn't quite work out where to get past there. A big pack right behind them, and now you can see coming through is Matt Rainbow on board with Nathan Anthony, side by side with Matt. Matt's got the line in the Dynarod car, nips through, makes up another position after a superb 5th in race 2. Is he going to get better in this one? Remember, he scored well, so he started towards the back of the grid in this final race of round 3 of the 2019 championship, but Sean Smith still out front. Sean with 3 career race wins in Legends under his belt, and very much a fancy driver for the overall championship. He's there ahead of Jack Parker. Miles Rodman coming under pressure from Marcus Pett, who has a look on the inside line, decides to stick sort of mid-circuit, I guess, to get a good entry into the corner. Rob King still in 5th, immediately behind, but watch Marcus Pett to see what he can do in the 79 machine, challenging Miles Rudman. Still Sean Smith out front. Again, any one of these drivers, all of the top 5, indeed the top 6, as we can see, John Mickle have all won races in Legends. And now Pett goes to the outside line. Can he make it to the inside? He's got the inside lines to come up towards Rocket, but with the leaders, it's Jack Parker out front in the 13, but outbrakes himself. Parker comes back on. That was a very quick recovery. Marcus Pett is forced to the outside line. And can he get 3rd place? Anthony still involved in the mix there with the Dynarod car, but now the leader, a little bit of breathing space for Sean Smith out front. Parker got back on track very quickly. That was a masterly recovery from Jack Parker, and he's still in P2, but he's got Miles Rudman right with him, and Marcus Pett immediately in front of Miles Rudman. Still Rob King next up. James Hall Morton in the mix as well on the back of John Mickle, and across the line they go here in this 12-lap final. The first 2 races were 10-lap heats, and although this is the final race of the round, remember it's the top point scorer across all 3 races that wins the day. So it's not the final, it's just the final race of the day. Sean Smith still leading. Jack Parker in second will be looking in his mirrors at Marcus Pett, who he knows has been very quick all day long coming through the field. None more so than in this race, from right at the back as one of the top point scoring drivers, along with Cy Haraway. Haraway, the car left of shot, out of shot now as James Hall Morton challenges John Mickle, and bump drafting, trying to work with each other to close in on the cars up ahead. And John has a little bit of a moment there. Hard on the brakes for Mickle. Nathan Anthony sadly again has a spin. It's not to be Nathan's day, but as before, that's the spirit of Nathan Anthony. Very quick recovery, get on with the race, get as many points as you can. Always a great driver to watch, Nathan Anthony, as Matt Rainbow does a bit of drifting at the back of shot there. Cy Harraway now all over the back of James Hall Morton. Chauncey Norman and Mike Schlupp having a superb race. This is for 14th place. Schlupp on the inside line manages to go through. Chauncey Norman in the sedan shape, the slightly bigger rear quarter window. The others are the coupes. Not too many sedans around these days. I think the coupe shape habit was originally a trend set by probably John Higgins, the multi-champion, back a few years ago. As we again pick up with the lead group, and Cy Harraway now busy challenging the 74 of Rob King, closing in as they go on the last lap. How much more can Harraway close up? And Miles Rudman spins. Miles Rudman is going to lose championship points there. He gets going again, and it's all about the recovery for Rudman. Out front, it's Sean Smith looking for a 4th career win. Jack Parker still running strongly, but it's Sean Smith out front. Parker challenging him for, it's going to be between these two surely for the race win, but look at Rob King coming up and challenging for a podium on the inside line of Marcus Peck. Peck will be the overall day's winner by my maths at the moment, but we've still got half a lap to go. Harraway will have something to say about that as well. In the mix as well is the 32 car of James Hall Morton. Looks like he's going to have a strong finish. Oh, I spoke too soon. Straight lines there. Matt Rainbow on the inside line. John Mickle is there in the mix as well, but here comes the battle for the lead, and it's Sean Smith out front. Jack Parker hounding him all the way. Now down the hill they come. Parker trying everything he can to get past Smith. Oh, and that's Rainbow. Wheel off. And on his side, Matt Rainbow's out of the race. Let's hope he's okay. It's the last lap, so we won't get red flags straight away. The marshals, I'm sure, will be with him straight away, but it's Sean Smith taking the win. Smith wins, Parker second. Rob King takes 3rd place from Marcus Pett, who I think has done enough to secure the day's win. Everybody on scene very quickly. Matt is out of the car. That's great news to see him out of the car, but not good to see the car in that state for the newcomer who was showing so much promise in races 1 and 2, and indeed in this 3rd race. Sean Smith the winner from Jack Parker and Rob King. Marcus Pett 4th, then Cy Harraway and Nick Bridgman. Miles Rudman 7th from John Mickle, Nathan Anthony and Connor Mills. 11th was Paul Simmons from Paul Simkis and Will Gibson. John T. Norman next from Mike Schlupp. They had a great battle, didn't they? James Hall Morton in 16th. Fastest lap of the race on lap 8 went to Marcus Pett. A great day for him.
Sean, fantastic race there. The battle was on from the word go, really.
Yeah, it was. We didn't have such a good day to start off with. We got a front row sort of start in that one and managed to get away. Me and Jack, we had a brilliant race. Really good, but I was pushed all the way.
Jack, welcome back to the podium. We're used to seeing you at the front end there, and that was a good race.
It was a good race. After the problems that we've had this morning, yeah, I'm happy to take second. It would have been nice to get that first off Sean, but I'd take second any day.
What issues did you have earlier on?
We had a bolt snap on the rear axle, so what it lines the axle actually went way, and it just shoved the car all round, so I had to retire.
Rob, welcome return there onto the podium. Good race there and a hard-fought battle, I think, all the way through.
Really hard going there all the way through. It was actually easier at the front, but I've just been annihilated every time. People behind you wanting to get through. Brilliant, it's what Legends is all about.
The results of round 3 look like this. Marcus Pett taking the win from Cy Harraway, who's the championship leader. Miles Rudman in 3rd ahead of John Mickle, and a career best for Nick Bridgman in 5th place. Jack Parker 6th from Sean Smith, then Paul Simkis, Paul Simmons and Nathan Anthony. Here's the man who did it today with a 3rd, a 1st and a 4th. He'll be back with us next time here on Anglesey.